Welcome to Keep Alive. Today, we're going to be talking to Mariah Wells. She's an entrepreneur, a substitute school teacher, and a student. What a combination for today's youth. We met her at the Celebrating America Bazaar that was held at Mount Tahoma High School last Saturday. So you're going to hear a little bit of background noise as some of the guests and shoppers pass by the table and say hello. We hope that you'll enjoy this conversation, because we're going to be asking a couple of interesting questions about how she feels about education and being a teacher, and how entrepreneurship plays a part in her everyday lesson plan. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do in your product line.
Well, my name is Mariah Wells, and I'm a merchandiser associate with Chloe and Isabel Jewelry. And I'm excited to bring this opportunity to listeners because this is a ground floor opportunity, and all of the jewelry is hypoallergenic and lead and nickel free. A lot of people can wear it. And for me personally, I'm allergic to base metal, so if something has base metal in it, if I wear it, I will be itchy and red, and I like that I can wear this stuff and not have that problem. So,
well, how long have you been selling the jewelry?
Well, I've only been in a month, so this is my very first show, and I have a team of 6 ladies under me already.
That's fantastic.
And I've already hit my first promotion into leadership.
That's moving right along. Now, I also understand you're a school teacher, substitute school teacher.
Yes, I am a substitute school teacher on the side, and I'm also a graduate student.
Oh.
As if my life isn't crazy enough, right?
Well, you're certainly packing a lot of activities in a 24-hour period, that's for sure.
Yes. Right now it's summer vacation, so I don't have to worry about the student part or teaching. But I do go to school online, so that's nice that I can do that when I want to, and it's nice that I have this flexibility with Chloe and Isabel to process orders online and maybe not necessarily have to do so many home parties or do a bunch of activity like that and go out and bother random people. Here, try the product. Right. That's not my personality. I want someone to come to me because they're interested, not because I force them, you know?
Oh, I see. Okay. So you're getting a little exposure today at a B&G event here at Mount Tahoma. And it gives you a kind of a feeling. Now, this is a whole new field for you, I would imagine, coming out and doing retailing since you're educated and you're an educator. How does it feel?
Well, I've been in the industry for 5 years, so it's not too much different. It's just a different product.
Product, I see. What were you at before then?
Well, I'm still with Mary Kay Cosmetics. Choose to spend time on this because it's a more positive outlook for me. And
fits you better.
It fits me better, and I'm making more of a difference.
Wonderful. You know, I've always said, a good friend of mine is a host on our other show, The Disruptors, and she's a business accelerator. And she always says, if you don't love your business, you can't do it.
Oh, that's totally true. You know, if you're not passionate about it and you can't stand behind your product, then why would you sell it? Very true.
It's very interesting, you know, and I've done direct sales and marketing for, I would say 51 years, but I don't want to say it out loud. But anyway, nobody would, notice. But it's such a change now with the way that the energy is on social marketing and the internet possibilities. It's so different to build a relationship with your customer, move products. You can now sell around the world from your front room. It's fantastic.
And that's what I love about it, the fact that I have the opportunity to make money from my couch while I'm going to school full time, and I don't get a paycheck in the summer from the school district. And then when I go and teach again, or maybe if there's a teacher strike, because that could happen in my district, just based on how the funding is with education and, all that stuff, I still have the opportunity to make a paycheck even if I'm not dealing directly with the school district. I can have that paycheck and know, okay, we're going to make it this month.
We're going to pull the doors closed and make it. That's wonderful. First of all, what grades do you substitute for?
Well, I like to stay in elementary school because I'm 27 years old and quite frankly, I probably look younger than that. It's very hard to establish authority in high school when you keep getting asked for hall passes if you don't have your badge.
That's true. That would be, yes, I
can
understand that.
Middle school, it's not that I don't like the kids, but the hormones. The hormones are crazy. Yeah. And I've been through a lot of crazy stuff in my first year of teaching. It's just the elementary school kids, I think, are a little bit more fun, and they actually still like you
as a teacher,
and they still like to give you hugs, and they like to draw you stuff rather than teacher's the enemy. And in some schools, they know what a dictionary is, and unfortunately there are places where it's just been all replaced with technology. And what I hope to bring when I get a teaching contract is I'm going to teach the kids how to research properly and use sources other than Wikipedia or the internet. Because it's important to know how to do considered old school research.
But very true. I always told the story of when we did a podcast during school levy time that I thought the way we could cut that budget problem is we give all the kids tablets and teach them the word Google. And unfortunately, the superintendent looked at me with one eye closed, so I thought I'd better drop that right away.
Well, yeah, and I want them to be able to think more than just Google. Google is great. Google has a lot of answers, and, Wikipedia can be okay if you can verify the information, but, what if the internet says conflicting things, which we know that sometimes what's put on the internet isn't always true.
Absolutely, the dark side of the internet. What I consider social media all the time, and bad news makes a difference in how we look at the problem. Mm-hmm. And positive thinking is slowly disappearing, unfortunately, because of just that bad news through social media. People get the wrong idea, or they think that there's something going on that really isn't going on. So I could talk about that for hours, but what I wanted to find out from you is, the kids today, are they more energetic in learning now than they were, say, before this boom of electronics invaded the schools?
Well, I think in my time I was in elementary school 20 years ago, and I think there are always going to be kids that are interested in things, interested in learning. Some might be more interested in the STEM subjects like science and math, and others might be more artistically inclined, and some might be more interested in social studies and history. And here's what I've found in the year that I've been in schools, actually with the kids, spending time, and quite frankly, spending time with kids when the teachers don't want to, or they can't.
Very busy.
Or they can't. Being sick isn't really a good reason to come into work, and I understand that.
That's true.
What I find that we're missing in our schools is social studies and history.
Very
and
true.
I think if we don't teach kids history, we are doomed to repeat it. That's something that I feel very passionate about, and I've gotten on some teachers' lists that are very receptive to letting me plan my own lessons. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, if you would have told me after my first day of subbing that in the first year I would have planned a lesson and executed it, I would have looked at you and said, you are out of your ever-loving mind.
That just doesn't happen.
And it did happen.
Wow.
And it went great. And what I found is that the kids are fascinated by history because they don't get to learn it, and I think that's such a waste. We spend
Very truly is.
so much time on testing, and it's not that testing doesn't have its place, but I think we need to maybe take the emphasis away from testing. We need to spend time on those core subjects, and I think social studies should be a core subject and not just something you spend 3 weeks on in a year and call it a day.
The other question I've always wanted to ask, and you get to be the first victim.
Oh boy.
We have done away with cursive writing, and now if you can print, it's wonderful, but you got to know how to really hit the keyboard and type. What happened?
I don't know. I mean, I went to Catholic school for elementary school, so we were taught cursive, and for a year of my life I had to spend writing cursive. If I didn't write in cursive, the paper would not be graded. And I think that's a waste. How are kids going to be able to sign their name if they can't write in cursive?
That's very true.
How are kids going to be able to read a primary source document like our Constitution or Bill of Rights if they can't write and read in cursive? It's going to be a Greek language, and that's not okay with me.
I have run across in doing podcasting and stuff of that nature, we've run across actual students graduated, they can't write. I mean, they can print, sort of, but when it comes to texting, the keyboard or whatever, they're just faster than lightning. And when I asked one of the teachers, how in the world can you graduate when you have a hard time communicating unless you have a keyboard in front of you? And they looked at me and said, that's education. You're just too old-fashioned.
No, I don't think that's. I think there are different ways of educating people. You know, you can be very book smart, you can be very research literate, but if you're not street smart and adult life smart,
you're not smart. Then.
You're not going to make it.
Very, very true. And I think a lot of kids today aren't going to make it, unfortunately, until they get their heads back into what's